Maya's footsteps echoed faintly against the polished marble floors as she approached the heavy wooden doors of the boardroom. Her heart pounded in her chest, each beat a reminder of the stakes. She had prepared for weeks, rehearsing answers to every possible question, but nothing could have prepared her for the cold stares that greeted her as she entered. The executives sat stiffly around the table, their expressions unreadable, but undeniably skeptical. Gregory Hensley leaned forward, slightly, his lips curling into a smirk as he spoke. "So, Miss Thompson," he began, his tone dripping with condescension, "how do you plan to communicate effectively with clients if they can't understand what you're saying?" His words hung in the air like a challenge, sharp and cutting. Maya felt the jab but swallowed hard, refusing to let it show. Another executive seated further down the table whispered just loudly enough for everyone to hear. Did she just say marketing strategy or something else entirely? A few nervous chuckles rippled through the room, and Maya clenched her fists under the table. She forced herself to breathe steadily, focusing on the pitch she had worked so hard to perfect. When it was her turn to speak, Maya stood tall, her voice steady despite the weight pressing down on her shoulders. She explained her innovative ideas for targeting underserved markets, her passion evident in every word. But instead of admiration, the panel responded with thinly veiled disdain. Their skepticism wasn't about her ideas. It was about her accent, her presence in a space they didn't think she belonged. As Maya left the room, one of the junior recruiters muttered under their breath, "She's so defensive about her accent. It's kind of cute." The comment stung more than Maya cared to admit. She quickened her pace, desperate to escape the suffocating atmosphere of judgment. Her phone buzzed in her pocket before she even reached her car. It was HR. "Ms. Thompson," the voice on the other end said briskly, "we need you to return to the office immediately. There's been an accusation against you." Maya froze, her mind racing. What accusation? She hadn't done anything wrong. Back inside TitanCorp, the tension escalated. A security guard led her past whispering employees who pointed at her and snapped photos. One photo appeared online almost instantly, captioned, "Corporate thief caught red-handed." Maya stared at her phone screen in disbelief. Grainy surveillance footage showed someone resembling her taking files from the interview room, but it was blurry, inconclusive. Yet everyone seemed certain of her guilt. Leah Park watched silently from her desk, guilt gnawing at her insides. She knew the truth, that Evan Carter, Gregory's godson, had taken the files, but fear kept her silent. Watching Maya being dragged back into the building made Leah sick to her stomach. She wanted to help, but the thought of crossing Gregory terrified her. Meanwhile, Gregory wasted no time capitalizing on the situation. "This proves we made the right choice not hiring her," he told his team smugly. "People like her always cause drama." His coded language masked his racism, but the message was clear. Maya didn't belong here. Just as Maya was being escorted out once again, she noticed Gregory arguing heatedly with another executive. In his distraction, he dropped a USB drive labeled TitanCorp Scandal. Without hesitation, Maya bent down and picked it up, slipping it into her pocket. Her face remained calm, but her mind raced. What secrets did this hold? And why had Gregory looked so panicked when he realized it was missing? As she walked away from TitanCorp, Maya's emotions churned. Humiliation, anger, doubt, all threatened to overwhelm her. But beneath the surface, something else stirred. Determination. Whatever was on that USB, she would use it. For herself, for justice, for all the others who had been dismissed because of where they came from or how they sounded. The audience couldn't help but wonder, what exactly was on the USB? Why had Gregory reacted the way he did? And most importantly, would Maya find a way to fight back against the system that seemed determined to crush her? For weeks, Maya trudged through a gauntlet of rejection. Each email she sent out ended the same way: silence or vague excuses. When she finally landed interviews, they fizzled quickly once recruiters saw her name trending online. "Corporate thief," they whispered behind closed doors. The rumors TitanCorp spread had poisoned her reputation, leaving her trapped in a cycle of bias and disbelief. One evening, as Maya scrolled through LinkedIn, a message popped up from Leah Park. It was brief, almost hesitant. "I know what really happened with those files. We need to talk." Maya stared at the screen, her heart pounding. Could she trust this stranger? Was this another trap? But something about Leah's tone struck her as genuine, a flicker of hope amid the darkness. They met at a quiet cafe on the outskirts of the city. Leah fidgeted with her coffee cup, glancing around nervously before speaking. "Evan Carter took those files," she confessed. "He's Gregory's godson. That's why no one will touch him." Her voice trembled as she added, "Gregory protects his own, no matter the cost." Maya listened intently, anger simmering beneath her calm exterior. This wasn't just about her. It was about a system designed to shield privilege while punishing those who dared to challenge it. She clenched her fists under the table. "What do you suggest I do?" she asked sharply. Leah hesitated. "Be careful. If you go after them, they'll destroy you." Determined not to let Gregory win, Maya turned to the mysterious USB drive. She reached out to Marcus Reed, an investigative journalist known for exposing corporate corruption. Their meeting crackled with tension. "You have something explosive here," Marcus said, scrolling through the data. "Illegal offshore accounts tied directly to Gregory Hensley. But if we're going to take him down, you'll need to play by my rules." The offer came with strings attached. Marcus wanted exclusivity, complete control over how the story unfolded. Maya hesitated but ultimately agreed. What choice did she have? Without his platform, her fight would remain invisible. As days passed, another figure entered Maya's orbit. Clara Bennett, a retired judge and former TitanCorp consultant, contacted her after seeing Marcus's initial exposé online. Over a phone call, Clara's voice carried both wisdom and urgency. "Gregory didn't get where he is without silencing people like us," she warned. "Minority employees who spoke out were framed, fired, or worse. You're playing with fire." But just as Maya began to feel a glimmer of hope, betrayal struck. Marcus sold exclusive details of her story to a rival publication without her consent. Overnight, headlines painted her as vindictive and opportunistic. Comment sections lit up with vitriol. "She's using this for attention," some sneered. Others dismissed her entirely. Feeling cornered, Maya questioned everything. Was this fight worth it? Clara stepped in when Maya needed her most. They met in person this time, sitting across from each other in a dimly lit diner booth. "Change doesn't come easily," Clara said firmly. "Every step forward feels like 2 steps back. But don't let them break you. Your fight isn't just for yourself. It's for everyone silenced before you." Fueling her resolve, Maya dug deeper into Gregory's past. Late one night, poring over old company records, she discovered a shocking connection. Darnell Thompson, her estranged father, had worked at TitanCorp decades ago. Evidence hinted that he'd uncovered similar corruption and vanished shortly afterward. Had Gregory silenced him too? The realization hit Maya like a freight train. This wasn't just about her career. It was personal now. Her father's shadow loomed large, forcing Maya to confront uncomfortable truths. Was she destined to follow in his footsteps, to become another victim of Gregory's greed? Or could she rewrite their shared legacy? Determination surged within her. No, she wouldn't let fear dictate her path. She owed it to herself and to her father to see this through. With Clara's guidance, Maya pieced together a strategy to dismantle TitanCorp's corrupt foundation. Armed with new evidence linking Gregory to illegal activities and fueled by her own resilience, she prepared for battle. The odds were stacked against her, but she knew one thing for certain. Giving up wasn't an option, not anymore. The lawsuit hit like a storm. Gregory Hensley filed for defamation, his legal team painting Maya as a manipulative opportunist who fabricated evidence to ruin TitanCorp's reputation. His wealth and influence turned the courtroom into a battlefield, with every motion designed to crush her spirit and her credibility. Reporters swarmed outside the courthouse daily, dissecting every detail of Maya's life. Her accent became fodder for mockery, her past scrutinized under a microscope. Commentators twisted her story into something unrecognizable, amplifying racist stereotypes that had haunted her since childhood. Amidst the chaos, Leah distanced herself publicly. In an interview, she claimed ignorance about the stolen files, denying any connection to Maya. Watching the clip on TV, Maya felt a pang of betrayal. Leah had been her only ally within TitanCorp, however tentative their alliance might have been. Now Maya stood alone, more vulnerable than ever. But just when hope seemed lost, Clara struck back. She called Evan Carter to testify, leveraging his guilt and fear of exposure. When Evan took the stand, his voice trembled as he confessed everything. "Gregory ordered me to plant the files in Maya's bag," he admitted, tears streaming down his face. "I didn't want to, I swear, but I didn't know what else to do." The courtroom fell silent, the weight of his words sinking in. For the first time, the tide began to shift. Maya seized the moment. With Evan's confession and the explosive USB data as evidence, she laid bare Gregory's embezzlement schemes and decades of systemic corruption. Document after document revealed illegal offshore accounts, silenced whistleblowers, and a culture of exploitation at TitanCorp. The judge listened intently, her expression grim as the truth unfolded. By the end, even Gregory's expensive lawyers couldn't spin their way out of it. When the verdict came, it was decisive. Gregory was ordered to step down as CEO immediately and face criminal charges for his actions. A ripple of shock ran through the courtroom as the board made an unprecedented move. They unanimously voted Maya as interim CEO. Gasps filled the room. No one saw this twist coming, not even Maya herself. Standing before the stunned crowd, Maya spoke with quiet authority. "Let this be a lesson," she said, her voice steady despite the whirlwind inside her. "No one is above accountability. Not even those who think they own the world." Her words hung in the air, powerful and undeniable. As Gregory stormed out, his face red with fury, the audience witnessed the fall of a man who once thought himself untouchable. Later, alone in her new office, Maya allowed herself a rare moment of reflection. She thought of all she'd endured, the ridicule, the rejections, the betrayals, and realized how far she'd come. Resilience wasn't just a word, it was a force that could dismantle even the most entrenched systems of oppression. And now, as CEO of TitanCorp, she carried both the burden and the opportunity to transform the very institution that nearly destroyed her. Clara visited later that evening, finding Maya sitting quietly at her desk. "You've earned this," Clara said gently. Maya nodded but didn't respond right away. Instead, she looked out the window at the city skyline, thinking not just of herself, but of others still fighting battles like hers. This victory wasn't just personal. It was a beacon of hope for anyone daring to challenge injustice. For a brief moment, Maya let herself smile. It wasn't over. There would be challenges ahead. But tonight, she allowed herself to savor the quiet triumph. On her first day as CEO, Maya noticed a sealed envelope resting conspicuously on her desk. Her name was written in faded ink across the front, handwriting she hadn't seen in years. With trembling hands, she opened it to find a letter from her late father, Darnell Thompson. The words spilled out like pieces of a puzzle finally coming together. He spoke of his own fight against Gregory Hensley decades ago, exposing corruption that cost him his career and possibly his life. "The system will try to break you," he wrote, "but don't let them win. You were born to lead." Tears blurred her vision as she read the final lines. Heartbreak mingled with inspiration, fueling her resolve to honor his memory by transforming TitanCorp into something better. That same day, Maya announced sweeping reforms, mandatory diversity training, transparent hiring practices, and reparations for employees harmed by systemic racism. She didn't just want to patch up old wounds. She wanted to rebuild the foundation entirely. To her surprise, the response was overwhelmingly positive. Employees who had once feared speaking out began rallying behind her vision. Team meetings became spaces for honest dialogue, and initiatives aimed at fostering inclusivity gained momentum. Slowly but surely, the toxic culture that had defined TitanCorp started to shift. People smiled more often, collaborated more freely, and felt valued for their contributions regardless of background or identity. Determined to share her journey, Maya turned to writing. With reluctant support from Marcus Reed, the journalist who had once betrayed her, she penned a memoir titled Accent of Power. In its pages, she chronicled her battles with prejudice, betrayal, and resilience, calling for systemic change. Across industries, the book quickly became a bestseller, sparking conversations worldwide about workplace racism and accountability. Her story resonated deeply, inspiring millions to challenge injustice in their own lives. Social media lit up with hashtags like Accent of Power and Break the Bias, signaling a global movement driven by her courage. Countless individuals reached out to thank her, not just for sharing her truth, but for proving that change was possible. Years later, Leah reemerged in Maya's life. Now a senior executive at TitanCorp, she publicly apologized for distancing herself during Maya's darkest moments. "I failed you when you needed me most," Leah admitted during a company-wide event, "but I promise to stand with you now." Their reconciliation marked a turning point, not just for them personally, but for the organization as a whole. Leah became one of Maya's strongest allies, helping implement policies that ensured no one else would suffer silently under oppression. Maya's leadership earned her recognition far beyond TitanCorp. Years later, she stood on stage accepting an award for corporate leadership, her presence commanding respect and admiration. As she delivered her acceptance speech, the camera panned to Leah sitting in the audience, applauding proudly. It was a testament to second chances and transformation, even within systems designed to resist them. "Never underestimate the power of resilience," Maya said, her voice steady yet filled with emotion. "And never stop fighting for justice. Change doesn't happen overnight, but every step forward matters." The crowd erupted into applause, moved by her words and the journey they represented. Her impact extended far beyond the boardroom. Workplaces around the world adopted similar reforms inspired by Maya's example. Conversations about equity and inclusion grew louder, creating ripples of progress that reached corners she'd never imagined touching. As the screen faded to black, Maya's closing statement lingered in the minds of viewers everywhere. Resilience and justice could overcome even the most entrenched systems of oppression. Hope lived on, not just for Maya, but for anyone daring enough to believe in a better future. If Maya's journey moved you, take a moment to reflect on the power of resilience and justice. Her story reminds us that change starts with courage and grows stronger when we stand together. If this inspires you to keep fighting for what's right, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Your voice matters. Comment below with your thoughts or your own experiences. Liking this video helps spread hope to others facing similar battles. And if you're ready to join a community committed to meaningful stories like this, subscribe so we can continue building a world where everyone feels seen and valued. Together, let's make a difference.